Welcome back to a new video. If you hear noise in the background, it is the AC that just kicked on. It is quite hot today, and I am procrastinating going to train outside because it is about 90 degrees, or at least when I went out there briefly, it does feel like it's right about there. But I decided to go back onto the Weightlifting AI. I think I talked about it in the last video as well, but just kind of excited to get back to it because I'm healthy enough to do the workouts that are on there. I have decided not to change any of the frequency of the movements that are on there, and I'm trying to stick to it as like the exercise selection as close as possible, at least initially. The only thing I changed in the sliders or the options was to add the Big Friday, because I do think that is just a fun thing to have, just a day where you can kind of push singles a little bit. But I want to keep all the accessory work in there and try to do a lot of like today I did some of the box jumps to do some of the plyometrics that are on there. I don't want to push them crazy aggressively because I have a feeling that they will destroy me because I am heavy, so I don't want to, go crazy with them. But I think it'll be kind of good just for nothing else if it's just for cardio. But the first exercise that it gave me today was hang power snatches, and I think it was actually different before I changed to Big Friday, so it swapped some things around. But I was kind of excited to have these. It's a pretty easy movement, and no matter how I'm feeling, I can kind of push pretty hard at them. But I was really focused on trying to have an aggressive lockout, so to extend really hard, but to have like a really snappy turnover where I'm punching super hard and having a really strong lockout, or at least that was what I was trying to do. The first two working sets here were 70. I accidentally did 3 reps on the first set, but the rest were doubles until I got done with my working sets. After I got past 80, I decided to do a couple plus sets, so I added them into the app, which is a nice feature that you can add. If you're feeling good, you can add more sets if you want. You could also take them away if, like, for instance, I would like re-aggravate or get hurt or something. I could take away something. The only thing I think would be an improvement upon that, so you can add and take away sets for individual exercise. I could take away a whole exercise if I wanted, but it would be nice to be able to take away a whole workout if, for instance, I don't know, my shed caught on fire and I can't train today, so I'm not going to be able to make up a workout. Or I remember I think during the last time I was on the AI, I got sick for 2 days, and it was nothing to do with the workouts or anything. I was just like physically sick and couldn't train for like 2 days, and I wasn't going to be able to like make up those workouts, and I didn't want to be super behind. So just having that kind of feature and being able to have the AI kind of adapted, I don't think it'd be too difficult of a thing. But after the hang power snatches, as you notice, I got up to 100. I missed the first 100, but then was able to do it on the second one. I don't know if it was just bad technique on the first one. I think it was, or if it was using the other straps and not my regular Iron Mind ones. Probably a little bit of both, but I was able to come back and get it, and I was happy about that. And here there are some hang power clean plus pause jerks. Originally on the app, it gave me power position power clean plus pause jerk, but I don't like power position in anything. I don't really like physically understand it, and I don't think it trains good technique, and I would have to have like a crazy arm bend to get it to whip, or like it's just I'd have to change my technique, and I'm not worried about trying to change my technique on a variation that I don't think is beneficial to technique. But hang power cleans are fine. I did use straps with these just to kind of, I don't know, get a different stimulus, I suppose, just because I felt like wearing them. But I was able to get to this 100, and then I went 105 to 110, and they all felt pretty good. There wasn't anything too radical with them. They were pretty easy. I felt like I could have went up a little bit more, but there I almost tripped over myself because I'm uncoordinated. It was just weird, but sometimes that happens. Here's the 105. The power clean from a hang is one of the hardest movements for me to do. It looks really easy until I get past like 110, then it's like the most difficult thing in the world. I don't really understand that because I'm usually really good, at least with snatches above the knee, or like from the blocks and stuff. They're usually pretty easy, but these hang power cleans are impossible. I also noticed on that one, just watching it back now, that my right foot, like my toes came up, which I don't know if that ever happens on regular lifts, so that was kind of a weird thing, but it is what it is. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes I guess weird stuff happens. I then had some front squats after. They were originally at 115, but I pushed them up to 125. I have a lot of my like maxes pretty conservative, just so I'm not getting bombarded at heavy intensities while I'm still trying to get fully recovered, and it'll kind of allow me to kind of naturally build through the program without grinding too much. But I had 4 sets of 2 at 125, or was it a triple? No, they're just doubles. And honestly, I felt like I could have went up because they weren't feeling too terrible. There's just like my IT band or hip or whatever was just a little bit uncomfortable. So I decided just to focus on just doing these weights and just start to just accrue the volume in the front squat, because I really haven't been able to do a whole bunch in a very comfortable state. I think I have my max on here is like 165 in the front squat, so I should be able to be pretty aggressive with the loading that it gives me on the app, because my max is pretty conservative. After all of that, I did some box jumps here, just 3 sets of 10 with a 12-inch box. I haven't done any sort of jumping or plyometrics in a very long time, so I'll be very curious to see if it has any sort of carryover, but if nothing else, it will just be good cardio to do. So better than running or jump roping or anything else, I suppose. But I was just trying to have short contact time, mostly with the last set. The first 2, I was mostly just trying to practice the movement, and then the last one just trying to have short contact time. After this, it had given me side planks, but instead of doing side planks, I just did some hip band exercises to work on the, just rotating my hips out and some like hip thrusts and stuff like that. Nothing with any sort of load, just with the band, just to kind of continue to rehab that hip area. I think that would be kind of a main accessory that I have. I'm not really so much focused on like ab work and all of that, but more of just using the bands and trying to get a pump in the hips and stretch all of that good stuff out. But that's the first episode of the AI. It is a program that I forget how many weeks, I think it's 12 or 13, but it will go until September the 30th, or at least that week of. So I don't know if I'll find an actual competition around then. I think I'm going to play it by ear. If I feel really good, like I'm training and like my hips come 100% good and I'm starting to push up to where my numbers were before, then I think I could try to look for competition, because if I do another one, I would like to be able to push to open at like 123 and then jump to like 128, so I can go for a competition PR. Same with clean jerks, to be able to push ideally around 160 in as an opener, and then be able to jump up past there. I'm not anywhere near that point now to be comfortable, especially in the clean and jerk, opening around 160, but I certainly would like to get back to that point before I try to compete again, because that's kind of the goal for if I do another competition. But no rush for that sort of thing. But anywho, first episode of the AI. Look forward to making the next video for you all tomorrow, but talk to you all in the next video. Peace.